So before I start this review, I want to say I'm sorry if I've been away for a while. I've just been taking a wee bit of time off to sort of basically think about what I'm doing, sort of formulate my plans for YouTube, and also just for my own personal sake as well, but I'd rather not get into that. And if it seems like I'm kind of flooding the channel with videos over the next couple of days, that's kind of your reason why. I'm catching up on some of the films I saw, and I did see quite a few films during that time off. So that's pretty much the reason why that's happening. Now that that's out of the way, let's get started. Hi, I'm Danny Quinn, and welcome to another episode of First Impressions. On today's episode, I review the latest animated adventure from Aardman, Aardman. The plot of this movie is that a Stone Age tribe finds their home threatened by the arrival of a bronze army led by the greedy Lord Knuth, voiced by Tom Hiddleston. So it's up to a young caveman, Doug, voiced by Eddie Redmayne, to try and save his tribe's home. He challenges Knuth to a football match that will decide the fate of the tribe in their home. If they win the match, they get to keep their home, but if they lose, they will work down in the mines for all eternity. So I'm a pretty big fan of Aardman's work, going back to the days of Chicken Run and Wallace and Gromit. I've always quite enjoyed their unique style of animation and their sense of humour. And when I first heard that there was going to be a movie from them coming out this year, I was naturally pretty excited for it. I was planning to create a video on my most anticipated movies of 2018, before that sadly had to be scrapped due to technical and personal issues. But suffice to say, Aardman was going to be the first film I would have talked about on that list. So going into Aardman, I had quite high hopes about it, and coming out of Aardman, I was mostly satisfied. I think it's a very solid addition to their work, even if I wouldn't quite rank it as one of their best. For one, it's very much your typical Aardman film. It has this very unique British style in its writing, its visuals and its humour, and the use of stop motion really gives the movie that distinct homemade feel that's really in line with their previous work. And I really enjoyed the world that's set up in Aardman. It's just so jam-packed with detail and imagination and creativity. Like I said, Aardman's movies generally have a very distinctly British feel to them, but with Aardman I think they probably created their most British film yet. Especially since so much of the humour revolves around football, but also the humour and the overall tone of the movie feels very distinctly British. Far more so than some of Aardman's earlier films, and while I see the film doing quite well over here, I don't know how the film is going to play to international audiences, especially those in the US, where I feel like the jokes might kind of go over people's heads a wee bit. Speaking of the humour in the film, it's absolutely top notch. There's some really funny gags and some really witty lines of dialogue, as well as lots of puns, visual jokes and background jokes that you might not catch on your first viewing, and the film also has a lot of slapstick humour which should generally appeal to younger viewers. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like a film that's pandering to younger viewers. It's a film that I think can be enjoyed by viewers both young and old. And it helps that the voice acting is solid all around. Eddie Redmayne does a very good job in the lead role of Doug. He's a very likeable lead, this very naive and optimistic young caveman who's kind of like Wallace if he was in the Stone Age. And he's a likeable lead character, even if he doesn't have a whole lot of personality beyond that. But Redmayne's performance does make up for those slight shortcomings. Same goes for Maisie Williams in the role of Guna. She does a good job, and I did like the character, even if there wasn't really a whole lot more to her beyond that. The rest of the cast are all very good too. Timothy Spall gives a very laid-back performance as the leader of the tribe. You also got a lot of great British actors as the members of Doug's tribe, including Richard Ayoade, Mark Williams and Johnny Vegas, who do manage to breathe some life into fairly stock supporting roles. They really bring a lot of personality and energy to these roles and do score some of the movie's biggest laughs. And you also have Rob Brydon as his carrier pigeon, who's absolutely hilarious. His interactions with Knuth are easily some of the best scenes in the film. Speaking of Lord Knuth, Tom Hiddleston absolutely runs away with the film. He is downright amazing in the part. Everybody's really good in their roles, but Hiddleston absolutely outshines the rest of the cast, playing this very cartoonish, very greedy, and very self-centered ruler who's absolutely obsessed with bronze and new technology. For the time at least. He's such an entertaining and larger-than-life character, and you can tell that Hiddleston is really having a ball playing the parts. With his very over-exaggerated accent and his hammy delivery, he definitely scores many of the movie's biggest laughs. The movie has a lot going for it with its characters, its visuals and its humour, which does make up for the slight shortcomings in the story. That's not to say that the story is bad or anything, it's just a little bit on the thin side, and it does feel very predictable in places. It does have a very formulaic feel to its plotting. It follows a lot of your standard underdog movie tropes. If anything, it's the same issue I had with Pixar's most recent entry, Coco. I really enjoyed Coco overall, I think it's a very good film, but it's not what I would call a great film, mainly because it is a story that we have seen a lot before. It's very much Pixar in a bit of a comfort zone, and that's kind of what it feels feels like here. It feels like Early Man is in a little bit of a comfort zone in places. But like with Coco, the entertaining characters, the stunning visuals, the humour, and just the sheer charm of it do make up for it. If anything, I think this film's charm is what really makes it work. Its plot may be somewhat predictable, but its very British feel and humour does help it stand out from other films like it. All in all, Early Man is another solid addition to Aardman's body of work, and while not quite their best, still a very fun and imaginative piece of stop-motion joy that just oozes with their signature brand of charm, as well as imaginative visuals and a top-notch cast, who all do an outstanding job, although Tom Hiddleston really seals the show as the villain. However, its thin and formulaic story does hold it back a little bit, and I'm unsure as to how it will appeal to international audiences. But I still find it to be a very enjoyable watch, and it did put a great big smile on my face. So on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being absolute irredeemable shit, and 10 being an outstanding flawless masterpiece, I'm gonna give Early Man a 7 out of 10. I definitely recommend seeing it, especially if you're a big fan of Aardman's work, or you're just looking for a fun family film to watch. It's a real delight for all ages. So Early Man, have you seen it yet? If so, what did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel, or all of the above. You can also check out my Patreon account and donate there, that would also be appreciated. And if there's anything I can do to improve my presentation, do let me know, I'm always happy to hear feedback. And until next time, I'm Danny Quinn, and I hope you have a pleasant evening.